a resin foot of my frost sabers went down the sink. That
His entire
sucks.
series collapsed in the swamp. Some peasants found her and took her to the Baron, Ellen's self-appointed ruler. The warlord took the young woman in, had her nursed back to health, then sent her on her way to Novigrad.
Bronze Emperor, good to see you, my dude. Welcome to the stream. How's the game? Awesome. The game is incredibly awesome. Let's see, to start off here, why don't we go ahead and do a quick meditate, just to refill all of our goodies. So, today, we're going to be finishing all of our Witcher contracts, and we're going to have to, or not have to, but we're also going to, we're going to finish off Velen. So our goal is to try and deal with all of our Witcher contracts and check out all the points of interest and get all of that taken care of.
Want to go and jump in puddles?
Oh, watch it, kid. Goodness gracious.
Have you drove off all the monsters?
No, this is my first playthrough ever of The Witcher. Witcher 3. And we are, this is the BBB difficulty, so the second highest. Man, it is pouring out here. Who do I think Geralt is closest to in Warhammer Fantasy in terms of power level? Geralt's closest equivalent, I honestly would probably say, probably like Kurt Helborg. Like he's definitely in like the top tier of human fighters. I don't think I'd put him in Grail Knight. Well, maybe with like his potions he enters Grail Knight level. But like Kurt Helborg's kind of a beast. I'd probably put him in like the Ludwig Schwarzhelm Kurt Helborg level. Don't have powers. No, but they do have some pretty horrifying magic equipment that is just like hilarious. Could Grimgor beat Archaon in a boxing match? Yes, Grimgor would absolutely obliterate Archaon in a boxing match. Like maybe if Geralt went all in on his potions, like as like powerful as he could get, he'd probably be more on par with some Bretonnian Grail Knights of note. Like maybe Bahamut the Beastslayer or any of the Dukes. Alright. Let me check that off real quick. Okay. Let's get this party going. So we are off to Midcops. That is not what I wanted to click. Is the audio okay, guys, by the way? You don't hear me alright? Nope, that's not cool. Oh, he's inside. Grail Knight Gruber.
If it weren't for our fellow,
Greetings.
what do ye want?
Here for Jenny o' the Woods.
So the notice about Jenny of the Woods, you posted it, right?
Oh, aye, 'twas me. You do it? You's a witcher, is you not? Straight off, a picture in me granny's book. Monstrum, or a portrayal of witchers. Remember like it were the day. We be afeard of her. But Jenny of the Woods, what's she to you?
Funny.
Let's talk rewards.
Oh, yeah. So, how much would ye wish?
Let's go for... Let's try 290.
Oh, have it your way.
Nice. Okay, I'll take care of it.
I'm on it. Know if anyone's seen Jenny of the Woods? Could tell me more about her.
Old Willem must have, but he won't tell you naught. He were weak of heart. We found him in the fields this morning. Other folk are afeard to go out nights. But you might try Agneta, lives at the end of the village. Word is she saw the wraith.
And nothing happened to her? She wasn't hurt?
Agneta? Outlived 3 husbands, that one. Jenny of the Woods won't do naught to that wench. White one.
That's funny to me. I like how it's like I know he didn't mean it that way, but I almost feel like it was like, ah, nah, Ghost is scared of that lady.
Wraith that haunts the village. Heard you can tell me about it.
Oh, I saw her. Saw Jenny of the Woods with mine own eyes. Like I sees you now, Witcher.
What did she look like? In detail.
Woman's
Please
husband
try.
dropped like flies.
Truth be told, I didn't see her too clearly. It were growing dim, see, and this pale shape loomed afore me, mist-like. I comes closer, and the cloud thickened, and something like a visage came out of the mist.
What did you do?
What do you think, me love? That I'd wait to see the wraith in full glory? Ran to the village to tell folk what I'd seen.
I see. So she appeared to you just after twilight? Important clue, thanks. You take care now.
Alright.
Maybe I should send him out to the creek. I'll catch something.
Let's go hunt us a ghost.
A woman came through here. Barefoot.
Okay.
A piece of fabric. Possibly from a dress. Got snagged on the undergrowth. Stride indicates she was running. Probably why she tore her dress. Somebody chase her?
I was... Ooh.
Couldn't outrun her pursuer. He stabbed her or slit her throat. Strange. Left the knife behind. Dried blood on it. Could come in handy. Dragged the body through here. Clear trail.
Interesting.
Lugged the body all the way to the woods. Buried it here. Shallow grave. Murderer must have been pressed for time. Something's sticking out. A letter?
Letter found in a grave. Even though I told him I don't want to know him. I know you're not afraid of Bokai, but I am. He says he loves me, but it's not the kind of love I have with you. It's a fierce, frightening kind. Bokai won't leave us alone ever. We have to run. Leave your reply in the usual spot. You're Zula.
The scorned lover killed the woman, seems to me. A night wraith. Alderman probably knew the girl. I had to ask him.
What's going on over here? Deserters, huh? Lore fact, what does being albino in the lizard society mean? How many characters have been albino so far? So albinos are generally individuals who have the blessings of like all of the old ones, or at least a notable number of them. They are like the most blessed in the sense that they... So lizardmen normally spawn in groups. They spawn in like spawnings usually have multiple lizards per spawning. But an albino lizard, which is known as the spawning of the old ones, like it's not associated with a single one, it's associated with multiples of them, is generally considered a like a very significant individual. So a character or Saurus or Skink or Kroxigor that's going to be significant for some purpose in the Great Plan. So maybe they're destined to perform like a really important ceremony, or they're meant to be at a battle of interest. It just depends on the individual and kind of like what's going on. Two for one. But that's what it generally means. As far as how many there have been, we don't know the specifics, Obviously, there are a couple famous ones, like Gorok. Nakai is supposed to be albino, according to some stories, but CA did not seem to make him albino, so maybe the stories that say he's albino are not canon, or were not considered canon for some reason. But Gorok is the most famous one, but there's only been a handful of them. Like, in the entirety of the timeline of fantasy, I would be surprised if there's been more than 1,000 albino lizardmen. But they exist. I mean, they crop up from time to time.
Tisn't easy, not at all.
Greetings.
What do ye want?
Zula and Bakai. Did you know them? They must have lived in this village.
Good God, he knows? 'Tis witchery. They disappeared, both of them, into thin air. We've not seen them a week now.
I found the girl's grave and a letter. It's clear she rejected Bakai because she loved another.
Zula and Ontan, aye. We thought they'd fled north to seek happiness there. Bakai departed round the same time. So that's to mean our Zula's the Wraith. Can't be. Such a good lass. And so pretty.
Any idea where they used to meet?
Well, can't say for sure. But the young'uns, they go to the clearing, mostly west of the village, past the fields. Zula. Good gods.
Pathano, thanks so much for renewing your sub.
The Wraith away. Stand a chance if I can bind it to one spot for a while.
I really appreciate that support, my dude. Master of Warhammer, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. What have I... Albino lizardmen always spawn alone? Yes. They're supposed to, anyway. They always spawn alone, yeah. I mean, and the reason is that when you have a spawning, when you have a sacred spawning or a blessed spawning, they're supposed to be called sacred spawnings, but they're called blessed spawnings in Total War. But sacred spawnings, the entire group that comes out of the spawn pool together will all have the same spawning. So, like, if it's a spawning of Sotek, they're all going to come out as the spawning of Sotek. If they're a spawning of Tlaxcotl, they're all going to come out as a spawning of Tlaxcotl, etc. Like, Krakar is a sacred spawning of Chotl, and he came out with 4 other Saurus that were his, like, spawn siblings, or spawn brothers. Gorok came out by himself, because he was a spawning of the Old Ones. Are they going to do Cathay in the Old World? Yes. I am 100% sure they're going to do Cathay in Warhammer the Old World. Because the reason I know that is because the Warhammer guys have been working really hard on coming up with all of their own concept art and branding it very heavily with Warhammer the Old World iconography. Burn Zula's letter and the dried blood from the knife.
Another wretched, foul lizard thing joins the Red Host. Cursed Sotek.
Ooh, she's different looking.
Hey Sotek, love your content as always. Any chance of ever seeing OK Blood Bowl, either tabletop or Blood Bowl 2?
Resistance 1991. I actually have some really old Blood Bowl videos on my channel. But it is something I will absolutely be doing more of. I'm just waiting for Blood Bowl 3. Like this Spectre oil? Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep! Go to your eternal rest, scout! Peaced out. Oh! That's a cool trick. Oh, they're draining my life. Oh yeah, I remember they could do that. This is fun. I'm gonna drink this. Come on. Come into my Yearden circle. Okay, she's actually kind of nasty. Let's do... Swallow. She really does not like to stay in the little circle. There we go. Hey, we got a Night Wraith trophy. Shame we couldn't, like, help her spirit. Just had to put her down. Wonder what happened to her lover and the dude that killed her.
Don't let him catch his breath!
I'm here for your stuff. Oh, rude. Jenny of the Woods was actually kind of nasty. She actually hurt a bit. That last phase of hers, I can't wait for when we can, like, actually upgrade Yearden into not being just a tiny bitch circle on the ground, because it is a really frustrating thing to try and, like, have to lure the ghosts into it. I probably should have, like, bombed her with Moondust. So by being a spawn of the old ones, is that like saying Gorok is just as good as a first generation spawning? Not necessarily. Age is still like a really important factor when determining, it's probably the most important factor when determining the power of a lizardman. It just means that he's destined to perform acts of greatness, and he will, like, his purpose is very, very important. So he's going to be a champion of the lizardmen and has a destiny to perform significant roles. It doesn't necessarily mean like he's the strongest guy ever or the most important guy ever, but it does mean he's going to be extremely strong for his age, and extremely important for his age, which Gorok is. Gorok's an absolute
that
monster.
white one.
Greetings.
What do ye want?
Jenny of the Woods is gone. Got rid of her.
She'll not be back.
No. I know how to dispatch night wraiths for good.
Aye, of course. Your reward, as agreed. Many thanks to ye, Master Witcher.
Yeah, Papa Chaos, that
Farewell.
that occurred to me just as I was like saying that. I was like, I probably should have used a Moondust bomb. It would save me some trouble. Alright. Awesome, awesome. Another ghost put down. Any other Witcher contracts in Velen? Oh yes, a lot actually. Okay, so let's do the Merry Widow next. So we've got some kind of monster that's eating children, supposedly. Gross. Where is this? Let's go pick up this quest just because I see it on the map. How are y'all doing today, by the way? Everybody hanging out? Having a good time?
demanded 6 sucklings. You didn't bring but a single scurvy runt.
An illusion.
No wonder he cursed us. We're doomed. You's the one brought soured wine. Curse is your fault as much as mine.
Well, gentlemen.
What are you doing here?
What? The sun flying from the moon? We're making offerings to the All-God, clearly.
You too can seek his aid. That's if you got fitting offerings. He scorned ours, then cursed the old village.
The All God?
The All God, you call him. First I've heard. Is some new deity?
Nay, 'tis ancient, revered by our forefathers. They say it were like this. Roslav of Oriton came here to gather brushwood. And suddenly, for no reason, a bush burst into flame. Then, Roslav heard a voice from the ground, demanding offerings and obedience.
We've been coming here since then, bearing gifts, in exchange for which the All-God
That sounds
watches over us,
suspiciously
keeps
like
us from evil.
certain
Plain
legend
to
I
see
know.
that. So, what's wrong with your offerings?
You needn't mock us, you can see right well we brought scraps. Before the war, I wouldn't give this such to me hounds. But what can we do? Such are the times.
And they're like to get worse. All-God said if he don't get a rafter of bacon and a barrel of beer at least, the rivers will fill up with frogs and locusts or some such will devour the harvest.
Well, that's kind of rude.
I could intercede on your behalf with this All God of yours. Got a feeling we'd come to an understanding.
Well, I suppose it can't hurt to try. To speak with him, you have to stand before the altar and cry out, "All God, help a poor wretch in need." Who knows, he might just listen.
Hey,
to a
Johnny
foreigner.
Thorson, what's up? I'm suspicious of this this entity, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Oh, All God, help a poor wretch in need. Pretty please.
How dare you disturb my divine rest, mortal?
I dare disturb it because I want your divine self to lift the, curse you cast. Those peasants really don't have.
They must bring worthy offerings or they shall face drought, driving hail, earthquakes, avalanches. I have spoken.
Avalanches? Here? Huh. How would that work? No answer from the All God. Fine. We can finish our conversation when I find him. Voice came from underground.
I was gonna say, that sounds like it's definitely just a dude.
Wine. More like vinegar. Someone drank it anyway. Could follow the scent.
What an absolute bastard. Another Cathay trailer tomorrow? Great, I'll look forward to it. Oh! Well, he's not human. That's for sure.
What? Who dares disturb my divine being?
Geralt of Rivia. Pleasure. Expected the All God to be corporeal in form, but never thought he'd be corpulent. Fattened up nicely at those peasants' expense.
Expense? Expense? Not a word about the help I give in return. Blessings, absolutions, enlightened advice. Believe me, these folks need all of it. I'd watch over them still if they fulfilled their end. But lately they offer these pathetic scraps.
That they steal from the mouths of their children, and to make matters worse, you cast a curse on them.
And I'll not lift it till they bring me worthy offerings. I'm to settle for curds and whey? Not a chance. And you can tell them that.
What is he?
Been in this hole long?
For a century or so.
Oh my gosh.
Winter I found shelter here. Built a fire so large the flames leapt through the crack, lit the bushes above. I coughed from the smoke, and suddenly heard a peasant. A voice out of nowhere, he called. A miracle. Thus, I became a god.
Parasite, more like.
Maybe so. But what of Freya and Melitele then, hmm? Demanding prayers and offerings, giving naught in return? I talk at least.
So I can say, I'm gonna kill you. Settle, be reasonable, or I'll kill you. Or fine, I'll stay out of it and tell them to get their crap together. The only dialogue option I wish that I had that I don't is does he actually do anything? Like, does he actually have the power to, like, bless them? Like, does he actually protect these people, or is he literally just a parasite? That's the only thing I don't feel that it explains super well. Because, like, if he's literally just a parasite and he doesn't do anything, well, I don't want to tell them because that's just an asshole move. That's true, Stone Age. That's true. Okay, let's go with 2 then.
Listen here, lord ass. You're gonna be satisfied with what you get, or I'll feed you to the ravens.
Plowing reformers. No, fine, fine. I'll sup more modestly. But just till the end of the world.
Plowing reformers.
Not longer.
A greedy god. Hold on. If I take stuff, does he get upset? No, he doesn't. Radovid 5th the Stern. Oh god. Let's see. Which brings us to the epithet of our current ruler, Redania, the Stern. Allow me to diagnose the causes and consequences of this appellation. Firstly, the seeds of Radovid's sternness were surely planted in his childhood. When Radovid was born to King Vesemir and Queen Hedwig in 1255, his care was immediately entrusted to Philippa Eilhart, the court sorceress. While none dared question she was fit for the role of tutor, few now envisage her as having been a warm caregiver to a young child. Whatever harsh lesson she gave Radovid clearly left a lasting mark. The next step on Radovid's path to becoming the Stern, the death of his father when Radovid was but 13 years of age. The rumor has it father and son barely knew one another. The mere fact of being thrust into one's inheritance at such an early age and such murky circumstances must have had a hardening effect. Finally, the Regency finished schooling Radovid towards becoming the Stern. Led by Sigismund Dijkstra, I don't know how to pronounce that, of Tretogor, the Regency Council imparted upon Radovid a style of politics seeped in this guy's aggressive, no-holds-barred, reason-of-state-first principles. Such are the causes of Radovid's temperament. Now on to the consequences. Most manifestations of his fierce manner are well known. However, a few illustrative examples might prove useful here. They include his summoning of the first of the Order of the Flaming Rose to be his armed enforcers, his later support for the witch hunters in their zealous cause, and finally there is the massacre at Loch Muin. Yet it is in the fight against Nilfgaard that Radovid has proven himself to be truly the Stern. While the forces of other realms disintegrated in the face of the Empire's onslaught, he has strengthened his own realm and taken command of the joint armies of the North. Whatever their opinion of him before, all clear-eyed observers now agree. Radovid V, known also as Radovid the Stern, is the North's last bulwark against Emir's expanding power. Man, he's got a pretty nice setup here. I don't think his actual name is the All God. Like, he doesn't even... Do we get a bestiary entry on this guy? Or is he just some mysterious entity? Oh, there he is. He's a Sylvan. Sylvans are cruel, greedy, and treacherous. Still, I prefer them to Duon. Sylvans and Yakshas, a kindred species, are extremely rare woodland creatures whose appearance combines traits of goats and rotund men. These beings usually pose little danger, for they limit their contact with humans to playing harmless, though often